All right, welcome to another Friday night of Keto Rocks with a new episode with new people, but your same host. So I'm Jim Hobbs, and down below, I believe tonight, or to the side, I have no which where he shows up on your screen, but Brian Damage Forsythe.
Hey.
There he is of Kix, and we have a special guest who's also named Brian. So tonight, just so I don't confuse anybody, and I'm talking about confusing Brian and Brian, I'm going to call Brian by his nickname Damage, and then I'll call Brian Schenker. So we have Brian Schenker joining us tonight from Frederick, Maryland, or residing in Frederick, Maryland, and has been residing there for quite some time. So Brian, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, it's awesome. Now, when you and I talked, and we've talked a couple times, instead of me telling your story, why don't you share the kind of the reason why you're on here today? Because it's more of an accountability. And before we get into your accountability, I just want to come clean for everybody. So two things. I told everybody, I posted about Marco's Pizza. Finally, we got a national chain that recognizes us keto people, and as keto patrons, they got us an alternative to eat when we're there. And while it was great, I ordered it. I fell for it. I did not look at the actual ingredients in the label. So I'm guilty of not doing what I'm always preaching to do. So for that, I ask for forgiveness. And number two, let me finish that sentence. So one of our friends messaged me and goes, "Hey, Jim, why are you eating that stuff for? Don't you know it's got 17 grams of carb?" I'm like, "What?" And so I went to their website because they market it as a keto friendly alternative, but they use the same sauce. So next time I'm going to see if I can order it without the sauce. That will make it keto friendly. But their sauce has sugar in it. So for those out there who I said, go to Marco's and get your crustless pizza in a bowl dish, just do it without their sauce, because their sauce does have sugar in it. And then the other thing I want to come clean while I'm sitting here talking to him, our son sent Peggy and I a box of keto bombs, which is chocolate bombs, which I'm the biggest shouter of. Read the labels, don't fall for the marketing. But I will tell you, we've had some terrible weather here lately. We're snowed in. It came, and in a moment of weakness, I tried one of those chocolate bombs, and I have to be honest, they're delicious. However, they are full of carbs, so I don't know who they pay off to sit there to put keto on the front of the box, but they're not keto friendly. But they are good. And I was telling Brian off the air, a Damage off the air, that I'm going to eat my way through this program. I'm just going to eat them and make sure they're not there anymore, because I just want them out of the house, and I hate to see food go to waste, especially food that tastes that good. So I'm coming clean with what I've done this week. So to you, Brian, what's your reasoning for wanting to go keto and come on the show?
So my story goes back a little bit back to 2019, and my brother Mark had turned me on to the Joe Rogan Experience podcasts, and in particular, I was listening to ones with Dr. Rhonda Patrick, and she's a scientist and is way into health and everything, and as well Jordan Peterson and his story with his daughter Michaela, and some other, just every now and then with various guests, he would talk about keto and carnivore stuff, and it really interested me at that time. And as you know from the podcast you did with my brother, my dad was fighting cancer, and some of the stuff that I had heard on Dr. Rhonda Patrick's podcast with regards to cruciferous vegetables, broccoli sprouts in particular, she's a big proponent of, with sulforaphane as a cancer fighting agent, as well as she was talking about the Visbiome probiotics to improve your gut biome. So we had my dad doing the broccoli sprouts, which lasted not very long. They're not very tasty, to say the least, but we found a supplement, and I truly believe that stuff was really helping him. And of course, we lost him at the end of 2019. But that kind of just sparked my interest, although I didn't do anything about it for myself at the time about getting getting healthy. And then back in July 10th of 2019, I had sent Brian a text and said, hey, with this, Dr. Ken Berry stuff that you're really into, where should I start? And he told me about the book Lies Your Doctor. What's the name of it, Brian?
Lies My Doctor Tells Me.
Yeah. So I got that immediately, started reading it, and a lot of it makes sense. A lot of that stuff that he talks about makes sense. And I also reached out to my brother 4 days later and asked him about the keto stuff, and he turned me on to a keto Facebook page. So I got involved in that a little bit, as far as just lurking and browsing and getting tips from here and there, and kind of started doing stuff, not real strict keto. That's what I was saying. It's more of a dirty keto that I was doing. And I think I notes I told you my main meal, as well as intermittent fasting, I would just have a leafy green salad. I started out having some cheese crisps on there to give me some of that crunch, because I need that crunch, and then switched to just throwing cheese on there. The biggest obstacle with that for me is the salad dressings. I can't find a salad dressing that I like that doesn't have sugar in it that tastes good.
You're not a blue cheese lover, huh?
No, never. I like ranch. That's close, but not blue cheese. So I started kind of doing this modified keto. I'd have a protein of some sort, and I wouldn't eat before 12 noon. I was still having like a second round of eating where I would eat some raw vegetables, basically celery and cauliflower with some ranch dressing and that, and then, of course, start eating a little bit more junk alongside of that, but I was still losing weight. And so I started back in June or July, excuse me, of 2019. And I went from 175 down to 160. So I lost 15 pounds.
Wow.
And
now, before that, Brian, were you doing intermittent fasting beforehand? Were you eating three meals a day? What was your eating habits before you went down this trail?
I was eating anything and everything all day long.
Okay.
I've been through periods of my life where I used to work out and lift weights and try to eat healthy and everything. But I got sidelined in 2000. I had a hernia and couldn't go to the gym anymore. And then that was kind of a downward spiral at that point, for a little while. Then, just that whole roller coaster up and down of doing well sometimes. At my heaviest, I got to, I think, I want to say I was at least 180 pounds. And, for average size man, that's probably not so bad, but I'm only 5'4". I'm a short guy. So 180 pounds on a 5'4" frame. And I was 125 pounds in high school. So I was carrying around a lot of weight, and I kind of just settled into between 175 and 177 for the longest time. And like I said, I was right at 175 when I started this, back in July timeframe.
Gotcha. Now, what do you do for a living? Because I want everybody to understand what you do.
So I'm a real estate agent.
Okay. So when you're a real estate agent, you're out and about. So I understand that, because you got to go meet another client, you got to go show another house, and the only thing out there is to do a drive-through through a fast food restaurant to grab a bite to eat. At least that was my experience for most of my real estate career.
Yep, that's very true. And now that I'm starting up, I'm already planning. That's going to be the most difficult thing for me, is to plan the meal that I'm going to have. The first meal midday, that's going to be outside of the house. When I'm in the house, I'm going to throw something on the grill. I'm going to, I've got the salad stuff. So it's easier when I'm home, but
right.
Yeah. So it's the planning part is going to be difficult for me.
Yeah, pack those little bags of smoked almonds and different pepperoni sticks and some cheese sticks and
Cheese.
Hard boiled.
Yeah.
Love cheese.
yeah, hard
What's
boiled
that, Rob?
eggs. That's hard boiled eggs.
Yeah. Yep. So the only problem with hard-boiled eggs is I don't like the yolk. So then that's where all the fat is.
That's the best.
That's the good part. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I don't know. I've never liked that. I was talking to my brother about that way back when I started, and he was like, "Come on, man, just throw a bunch of salt and pepper on it, and it's fine." Yeah.
You're like, no, I'm not falling for that.
So, but the intermittent fasting, I think, is what really helped me lose the weight more so because like I mentioned, the second, I don't even call it a meal, because the second round of eating that I was doing, I was snacking, drinking beer, snacking, watching TV. And I know Brian's talked about this, about it's a habit. I wasn't even really hungry, but it was the habit that I had, and that's what I was doing. So the intermittent fasting was really helping me keep the weight down, even though I wasn't doing such a great job with the meals. So, and then I was also taking some supplements, and I need to get back on my supplements. At a minimum, the vitamin D, the zinc, the vitamin C, stuff like that.
Right.
So the results of that first round, before I stopped, I lost 15 pounds. I felt a lot better. I felt like I had energy. Like, you guys know this. You feel better. You have energy. I could stay up till 11 o'clock moving around, doing stuff around the house without feeling tired, and whereas the flip side of that is you feel groggy and tired all day long when you're just not eating well and you're carrying the extra weight. I used to take ibuprofen quite a lot. I would take 4 200 milligram ibuprofens at a time for like sore back. I would always have something on the right side of my back where my back just felt tweaked and just kind of wears you down. So I would always take ibuprofen for that. I stopped taking that, and I haven't, I think I've only taken ibuprofen one time since, even after I fell off the keto wagon. I haven't taken that. But one of the biggest things was that in 2016, my A1C was 6.0. So that puts me, I believe that puts me as a diabetic, if I'm not mistaken. I'm looking at WebMD right now real quick. Hemoglobin A1C levels between 5.7 and 6.4 mean you have a higher chance of getting diabetes.
Zero risk.
Yes. So that was 2016, and I didn't do anything about it. So it just so happened that I had my labs done before I started, which was also a spark for me to get this going. In June of 2019, my hemoglobin A1C was 7.5.
Wow.
7.5, right. The doctor prescribed me some metformin, and I did not want to take it. These are full bottles. So that's why, I had reached out to Brian and my brother. And then I had my labs done a few months later after, doing this diet, and the A1C came down to 6.8. So I was on the right track coming down.
But now what was the time frame for the time that you started to the time you did your numbers again? How long was that? What was the time period?
So the 7.5 was in June of 2019.
Okay.
6.8 was December of 2019.
So 6 months roughly around there. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then, so I gave you guys my labs because I don't really know the cholesterol piece of it. So maybe you guys could pull them up and look at them and see. So you've got the 2016 blood results that have cholesterol and 2019 that have cholesterol. The December was only A1C. So there's no cholesterol results in that. So
I'm trying to, I thought I had it on my desktop. I'm not seeing it now.
I can
You want to read those numbers out, Brian?
Let me see if I can find them.
Unless Damage could find his.
I think it's in the email.
Okay, so in 2016, total cholesterol was 185. Triglycerides were 226.
That's high.
Huh?
That's high.
That is. The
Yeah.
HDL cholesterol is 39.
That's low. Those should be the other way around. But
VLDL cholesterol cal is 45, and LDL cholesterol calc. So I wonder if that the other one was supposed to be calc as well, is 101.
yeah, the most important is the HDL and triglycerides. But that was 2016. So what's the most recent one of for your cholesterol?
Oh wait, so was I reading you 2019?
Was that 2019?
I was reading you 2019. My apologies. So let me pull up.
Oh, that's good. Actually, the most recent is the most important, really. Unless you're looking at how it's changed.
Yes.
I remember it didn't change a whole lot.
Yeah, so I'm looking at 2016 for sure now. Total cholesterol was 179. Triglycerides were 211. So they went up
by 15.
6.
Yeah.
And it just says calc LDL call, so cholesterol is 99, and the HDL is 38, and the VLDL is 42 from 2016. So yeah, I was reading you the 2019 ones.
So when are you scheduled to go back in to get your tests rerun, Brian?
So I have orders from 2020 that I never, that the doctors wrote the orders, but I never went and did them because I knew I was eating horribly and just didn't see a point in going to get bad news when I knew it was going to be bad news.
Right.
And the goal was always to get back on eating clean, and then, wait like 3 months, I would say, and then have my labs done again. And this time around, because at the 6.8, even you're in the diabetic range, type 2 diabetes. Dr. Berry talks about having your C-peptide done. So I'm going to have that done as well.
Well, so let's fast forward to the now. So here we are on February 24th, 2021.
Yes.
So what's your goal? What's your goal now going into 2021?
So, obviously I want to reverse that type 2 diabetes. And I'm also on high blood pressure medication. So I want to be able to get off that as well. So going strict keto, cutting out the sugars, it's easy for you guys doing carnivore because you're just eating meat. But to try to cut out sugar, I don't mind cutting it out. It's finding stuff to eat that doesn't have it. Everything has sugar in it.
Yeah, you got to sort of become your own cook and make your own stuff. Like you were talking about salad dressings. Yeah, well, I don't eat salad anymore, but yeah, I got to the point where I didn't buy any store-bought stuff like that. I made all my own stuff. Like I go to the store and I look at ingredients, and then I go home and make my own.
And I go to the store, I look at the ingredients, and it's, you see that 0 sugar, and then or 0 sugars added.
Yeah, 0 added sugar.
1 gram of sugar, but then you look at the ingredients and you see something that is sugar, or you don't, or you see like the generic phrase of like added spices, which, like I think Brian was telling me, that could be sugar. That could be just straight sugar.
Or natural flavors, or they hide stuff underneath those labels.
Yeah. So back to the goals, intermittent fasting, I do pretty okay with that. I want to shorten the eating window and eventually get to 1 meal a day. Like I was saying, cut out the sugars and the processed oils. That's the other thing. Everything's got soy or canola oil, like some sort of oil that's just not good for you.
No, and you have to look at everything. If you go down to the nuts aisle just to buy yourself some smoked almonds, plain smoked almonds, you'd be surprised that almost every nut they have canola oil, sunflower seed oil on them, you know, and sugar. I mean, salt. I mean, it's just all kind. I mean, salt's not bad for you, but they just have so many ingredients when all you're trying to do is just get, you know, a smoked almond. That's it. But almost every food item that's in that grocery store, they have additives to it to get you so you're addicted to coming back to that store and buying that product. And the reality of it is it's destroying your health.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I do have a weight goal. I know a lot of people don't, because the weight ends up just coming off anyway. But I want to get down to 145 to start, and then reevaluate at that point to see if I should still try to, you know, to lose weight. I think, Jim, you said on the last podcast, you kind of leveled out on your weight where you felt comfortable. And I'm sure that same type of thing will happen with me, where I'll just kind of know or feel like, yeah, this is a good weight to be carrying around.
Well, what'll happen is you'll just if you keep on this track and keep up with it, you'll eventually get to your core weight where you'll just settle in, and
Right.
it may be, you know, you might end up beating your goal in the process, you know.
I can't even imagine. I was a skinny little thing at 125. So, but
yeah, you never know. You know, Brian is correct in saying that you know, I thought my initial goal was like 205, and then I just kept coming down, and I still realized, you know, I could lose more, but the more I lost, the better I felt. And then mine finally just kind of started hanging around 189 to 193. It would just bounce back and forth in that area there until this past winter, and then it's just started going back up again. Luckily it's going back down again. So I think this morning I was 202, so it was high as 209, but it's back down to 202. At least it's going the direction. And it's amazing, you know, you say 15 pounds, just those 7 pounds, I noticed the difference in how I feel. Those 7 pounds.
yeah, when I was doing it, even the first 5 pounds, and you know, people, they tell you the first 5 to 10 pounds is most of that's water weight,
right? Yeah.
Anyway, but I think my body's adjusted from, you know, even though I gained some back, that I drink a ton of water. These are 32 ounces. I drink 3 of these and 2 smaller ones every day, pretty much. I don't drink other than beer, but I got to cut that out. But I don't drink soda anymore.
Good for you.
I had a Sprite the other day, and it was horrible. And I hadn't had a Sprite in probably a year.
Yeah, it's funny how once you cut out the sugar and you then you have something that has sugar in it, it's like, it's almost overwhelming. You lose the taste for it.
Yeah. I had a iced tea that I liked it was Lipton Diet Citrus iced tea. And I was drinking that I'm still drinking it, but it was 0 calories. And all of a sudden, these started to be 5 calories. Like, I bought another case of them, and they're 5 calories. And I'm like, and they don't taste the same. They taste sweeter. So I think they've added some sort of hidden sugar of some sort that's giving you the 5 calories now. And like I said, they don't taste as good. So luckily I like water. I don't drink coffee. And I really don't drink tea. That's kind of how I settled in on this cold drink, the diet iced tea, just to have something that's got some flavor in it.
Yeah, I cut out soft drinks. Actually, when I met Peggy, she was just a water drinker, and she converted me to just a water drinker. And now all I like to drink is water. And people go, "How do you just drink water?" You know, and I was like, you know, if I have anything else, it's like, wow, you know, there's just something. It's over, no matter what it is outside of water. It's powerful. So I couldn't tell you the last time I've had a soft drink. It's probably been years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, I mean, it may even been 20 years. It's been a
Oh,
while.
wow.
Yeah,
That
it's
is a
been
long
while.
time. So one thing we didn't touch on, we didn't talk about what happened, why I stopped.
Yeah. So let's talk about why you stopped.
So I call it, so Corona, when Corona hit, I call it, I went into my Corona cave, and just, not being up and moving around as much, and going places, of course, almost from the beginning in Maryland, real estate was deemed an essential business. So we could still conduct business, but we had a time period where everybody was scared. So everything kind of slowed down for a little bit. And then of course, when they kind of loosened things up a little bit, everybody was wearing the masks. Things did pick up a little bit, but last year, 2020, was a kind of a dramatic slowdown, and not going out of the house as much and being as active. And, so there went the keto, even the dirty keto eating. I did continue to do the intermittent fasting. And I ended up gaining back about 8 to 9 pounds. And that's where, I keep going. I'm going to start Monday. And then Jim reached out to me about doing the podcast. And I was like, all right, well, I can start. I'm putting it out there into the universe. Everybody's going to hear it. People are probably going to, check in on me now. So I got to do it.
So your weight this morning that you weighed to start it today was 167.2. Is that?
Yeah.
So and you're hoping your goal is 145, but keto carnivore goal may take your body someplace different than the 145 that you have a goal in your head.
Right.
So,
and that's okay.
Yeah. So I think we discussed this past week that I commend you on putting it out there in the universe, and to challenge yourself as well as to allow other people to see your journey, and to kind of tell people how you arrived at this point. And I think even though the Keto Rocks retreat in August is sold out, I said it'd be wonderful to have you show up that Saturday or Sunday to literally have your numbers with you, to show people what you are right then and there, along with your numbers, so they can hear directly from you this journey from today till August. So I think it'd just be awesome if the next 6 months for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll definitely make time to do that. So with that, so we're basically March to August. I was initially thinking of having blood work done after 3 months. Do you think I should wait and have it a little bit further out, closer to the retreat?
Well, it depends on where you are, because when you literally are get the sugar and you're literally doing straight keto for real, it doesn't take long for that change to start to happen. I mean, I would say probably June. Don't go past June. You want to know what your numbers are.
Okay.
I don't know what Damage's thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, if you're really sticking to it, they won't change that much after that. After the initial 3 months, if you continue on doing what you're doing.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that then. I'll plan on doing it in June, and then I don't even know. So I do have health insurance, so I don't know how often they would allow me to have blood work done without having to come out of pocket for it, because those tests can get quite expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you know, right?
Yeah, I get mine done with no insurance, but to me it's worth it because I'm not paying for insurance. So, one big set of blood tests is about a month's worth of insurance anyway. What I would be paying.
Yeah, we pay through the roof for, I've got 4 kids, so a family of 6. You can imagine how much the insurance is.
Yeah, that's a lot. What's your annual what's your deductible? What do you got to hit?
Oh, geez, I don't even remember, because it's the same plan we've had for almost 3 years, but it's expensive. It's in the thousands. hit. Luck, thank goodness, in a way, we haven't hit the deductible yet. So it's up there.
Wow. Now I have a question for you, Brian, since I've never heard this question. So everybody knows your brother, Mark, and Mark has pretty long hair. You're like me. You don't have hair. So let me ask you a question. Yeah, put you on the spot. Does Mark wear a wig?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. But I tell you, I'm an open book with everything about my life. I used to be a Hair Club for Men member, and I used to wear one. I wore a hairpiece for several years.
Now, tell me how that works. Actually, let's just deviate a little bit. So did they? I mean, it looked painful to me. Then they put the hair follicles in your head?
No, so I wore a hairpiece. It wasn't a transplant.
Okay.
So
you just wore the rug. You had a rug.
I wore a rug. And
gotcha.
They glue it to the hair that's around your rim and put a double-sided tape right there on your forehead, and that's how it sticks. Some of them would braid it to your hair. They had all different kinds of stuff back then.
Could you remove it at will, or did it have to stay there? I mean, is it like once it's self-adhesive, it's not coming off?
Yeah, you have to wait until the glue wears down and stuff. You'd have to go in for tune-ups. I'd have to have a tune-up every couple months.
So they do a little dab there and poke it back down, make sure it's sticking to you.
They would remove it and remove the old glue and stick it back, new glue, and stick it back on. Yeah. But I have to tell you, one of the most liberating times in my life was when I got rid of that thing and shaved it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I used to have long hair, and I tell you, I got to go get a haircut now. Peggy's like, oh, your hair's getting long. You know, the three that are back on this side here. Yeah. But I don't miss it either, Brian, to be honest with you. I tell you, I love taking a shower. You're done. You go to the pool, you go to the beach, you're done. And it's just, I know Damage doesn't understand what you and I are talking about, but we relate.
Yeah. Mark was blessed with hair, and I was blessed with the good looks.
Oh. So
Jim, if you can Photoshop a little sparkle in my
yes
and a little ting.
That's hilarious. So Brian, you got any questions for or Damage, you got any questions for Brian?
Oh wow, I mean, I've just been fascinated. I'm always fascinated by everybody's journeys, and a lot of them are similar. In fact, mine's similar to yours. Like when I first started, it was very dirty keto. I mean, it took me a while to straighten everything out, and that's what it is. It's just a process. So
yeah,
as long as you're headed the right way and aware of what you're doing,
Right. And I was following all your food pictures over the last several years, back when you were a pescatarian and all that too. So that was kind of, there was a period where I was like, he's not really doing the foodie pics like he used to do. Something's changing here. As you went from that to going, full on carnivore, and it was like, he's eating meat now. And of course I was having conversations with Mark, and he was, because Mark said that you guys on the road eat together most of the time because your eating habits coincided.
Yeah.
And I think the first time he realized it, you had like 3 giant pieces of sausage that you were eating, going from being a pescatarian to eating that. And of course, we all know Mark had given up red meat for years, that he wasn't eating. And when he started eating meat, I was just like floored. I couldn't believe it. I never gave up red meat. I enjoy it and always have enjoyed it. So,
well, I fell for the lie that red meat's bad for you. But I remember when I first started, it was the end of July 2018 is when I decided to start eating meat again. And I actually hid it for almost a month. Like I'd post my food pictures and there'd be bacon in there, but I'd hide it underneath. And Yeah, I was almost embarrassed to admit that I was eating meat again. It took a while to get. Oh, I know what happened. I posted. I went out with my brothers. We used to meet up every few months and have breakfast together. And I got like steak and eggs. And I took the picture and somehow I accidentally posted it.
Oh,
I don't know how I accidentally posted it, but I did, and I hadn't didn't mean to, and then it was just out there, and it was like, okay, everybody knows now.
no turning back at that point.
Right? Yeah.
That was your coming out party.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed seeing all those pictures, and you know, of course, your family being from Frederick, you would hit some of the restaurants that I could actually go to.
Yeah.
Mexicali Cantina was one of my favorite places to go, but I never got back there to have those scallops that you used to get. They looked so good, that scallop dish that you used to get all the time.
Oh yeah. The
I forgot
last
about that.
the last couple times I went there, it wasn't as fun because I couldn't get all the other stuff, you know, because I love
Yeah.
Mexican food, so I just have to get like a steak with an egg on top, and that'd be it. No, I couldn't eat any of the rice or the beans or any of that junk or the tortillas. But
So when you come back, well, I don't know how many times you're going out to restaurants these days when you're back here. What was your favorite place to get a steak?
probably Longhorn.
Okay.
I tr- we hit different ones. It was hard because Mina is vegetarian.
Yeah, yeah,
So we'd always have to pick somewhere where she can find something for herself too. You
yeah.
know, can't just be selfish and take her to a steakhouse. But Longhorn, I think, is they have pretty good steaks. One time, for some reason, we decided we tried what is it, the Texas Roadhouse?
Texas Roadhouse.
Ah, it was terrible.
Really?
I got what did I get? Prime rib, and it was just tasteless and not dry, but just yeah, tasteless. It was and chewy. That's right. It was just not good.
Oh, that's too bad. We
It's really too bad because they're going to be one of our sponsors of the show next week. No, I'm just kidding.
well, I was gonna help them out because we've had good experiences at Texas Roadhouse, and the one thing. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, well, maybe the prime rib's the wrong thing to.
Yeah, we got ribeyes there both times. The last couple of times that we went there, and they bring your steak out and they wait for you to cut into it to make sure that it's cooked to the right temperature.
Oh, okay.
And there was one time where, I always order medium, and my wife orders medium. Sometimes she'll order medium rare, knowing that they're probably going to overcook it a little bit. But mine was well done, and they took it back and brought out, did another steak for me,
Wow.
and then cooked it perfectly. So, yeah,
Right. Well, I've always,
That's customer service right there.
yeah,
yeah,
that's cool that they'll do that.
yeah.
Yeah, but I've always had good luck at Longhorn myself.
Okay. We've gone there a couple of times, but we settled into Texas Roadhouse when we were going out to restaurants still. Of course, we haven't actually sat in a restaurant since before COVID hit. So I'm waiting out the storm.
Well, I was at a restaurant this afternoon. It was too nice a day here in the DC area.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. It was
Six-
nice too.
Yeah, it was sunshine, 64 degrees. So Peggy and I head down to one of our favorite places. We went down to Tim's on Tim's at Fairview Beach, and I usually always get seafood when I'm at Tim's, but today I tried their smoked prime rib, 20-ounce prime rib. And let me just tell you, it was delicious. It was medium rare. It was delicious. It had the smoke flavor, and they brought me out a double-sized Caesar salad with no croutons, and so I had a double Caesar salad with a big old hunk of smoked prime rib, medium rare, and I was happy.
Sounds
You're
good.
making me hungry. I had keto jambalaya that I had made and froze some portions of, and when you heat that back up, it's just everything. All the proteins get really tough after it being frozen, and then heat it back up from frozen. So
Wow.
you're making me jealous, Jim.
Well, I'm not. Hey, listen, we'll have to get together and we'll meet up one day since you're in the
Yeah.
area as well. We'll meet up and we'll do a prime rib or some crabs. What food projects besides? I know I'm going to ask you about another one, but any other food projects you've been working on this week, Brian?
Um, oof. I've just sort of been bouncing back and forth. But I did do those briskets this week for Steve.
Yes, we'll talk. Let's talk about that in a little. It's soon here about the dueling briskets.
Yeah, that yeah, that's the dueling briskets. Today it's the dueling Bryans.
The dueling DBs. But hey, I want to give a shout out. I actually meant to wear it tonight, but want to thank Linda for sending out the Eat Your Meat shirt.
Oh yeah, I got mine today.
Yeah, you got
I stopped by my PO box and it was like, oh, what's this? Yeah.
So
And
yeah, I got
you guys didn't wear them?
I meant to. I actually meant to. I told you I got totally distracted. So Linda, I'll be wearing it next week. I'll wear it next week. What colors is your Brian?
It's dark blue.
Okay, mine's red, so we won't be, won't be wearing the same thing. So
Well, I always have the habit of every time I get something, I throw it in the washer on scalding hot water and then dry it at high heat to get it like to fit. So I had to go through that process. That's why I'm not wearing it.
all right, so there's his legitimate excuse. I just forgot is my excuse, but I'll wear it next week. And also shout out. I don't know if you got your package today, but also shout out to my buddy Steve Stepanek, who I come back home from Tim's and I got a case full of meat and a prime rib. I think it's a 4-pound prime rib and a bunch of ribeyes. So thank you, buddy, for sending it out to me. Did yours come today yet? Damage?
No, I've been having trouble with deliveries lately. I had a
Really?
friend send some food, and I think he overnighted it, and it took like over a week to get here. But luckily, it got stalled out here in Nashville right before the snow. Or no, he sent it on the Wednesday after the snow. That was the trouble. And so it got stuck in cold storage till yesterday. It finally came.
Is it perishable? I mean, is it still edible?
Well, the cool thing is, I guess they had it in cold because it was I guess it was marked perishable, so they put it in cold storage. And when I pulled it out, he had it in a box inside styrofoam, and then inside the styrofoam was oh, I'll show you. I got it right here. It's one of these things. It's like an insulated cooler bag, and he had ice in there. And when I opened it, it still had ice in it. So,
Oh,
nice.
Well, that's a good sign.
yeah, so I got. In fact, I was smoking some venison steaks before I got on here. So that's what's resting. So I got to throw those on the griddle and sear them when we're done.
Ooh, that sounds good too.
I, I think I told you, John. I don't know if I told Brian, but Costco right now has prime grade brisket on sale for $2.99 a pound in Maryland.
Yeah, Costco's great. I love that
Yeah.
section.
I went by there.
I have that Costco steak down in my not steak. I mean the brisket. In the
Okay. Do you have a Costco down there, or did you bring it back?
No, I haven't. There's a Costco down here in Nashville. So
Okay. Yeah, that's on sale right now. I went by there today. I was gonna pick one up, but all of them were gigantic. They were all 20 pounds or more. And I don't have anything that I could cook that in at 20 pounds or more. A friend of mine got one that was only 10 pounds. So I was over there looking for a 10 pounder, but they were all 20 pounds or more. They're just too big. So I couldn't get one.
yeah, mine's 17 pounds, but I can fit two of those things on.
Well, talk about fitting two of the briskets onto your Iron Horse 750 or whatever monstrosity of a smoker you have. What everybody's been asking. So, what about Dr. Steve O? And did he get the briskets over to you? So, Brian, you want to give everybody an update, a little bit of update, because we're going to probably bring him on next week. So, how'd that go down this weekend?
Yeah, he was. We were texting back and forth about it, and I was trying to figure it out, like how long is it going to take, so what we did was I had him show up at 7:30 a.m. on I forget what day it was. Sunday, I guess. Yeah, Sunday. And so he showed up, and I trimmed him with him here, and like we filmed it and everything, and then got him on the smoker, and then he took off, and then I called him about after it got to like 170 or so. I wrapped him and put him back on there, and when it was like I knew it was within an hour, I called him, or yeah, I texted him and told him that he could head on back. So he got here when they were done, and it was dark out by then, but but they came out perfect. We had him up here in the kitchen and sliced into, like, he had no idea what he was in for with those.
That was a real treat.
Yeah, the thing is, he bought both those at Kroger, and they're just regular old choice briskets. But man, were they good! It was I guess his wife may have picked them out, but they were really nice ones.
Wow. Well, so for everybody, we're going to, I think we're going to have Dr. Steve-O on next week, and we're going to sit there and go over and show you the footage and discuss it in detail of how they went about cooking this dueling brisket.
And you've got the little teaser footage I sent you.
Yeah, I'm gonna place it right on here at the end so everybody can get an idea of what went down, and then the following week we'll tell you what went down. So, and what else I got? Oh, I wanted to tell everybody. I know everybody's been asking, and I don't know if you saw this, Brian and Damage, but I did a pictorial tutorial of my deep dish pizza that I did. So I just so everybody knows, I took a bunch of fresh hamburger, just fried it up in a black iron skillet, added Italian seasoning, salt and pepper, and a little bit of garlic, fried that up, put that in a casserole dish to the bottom, and then I layered it with bacon I just baked, and then I put hot peppers on that, and then mozzarella cheese. Then I put what else did I put on there? I put something else on there. Oh, smoked ham. So smoked ham on top of that, and then another thing of mozzarella cheese with pepperoni slices on top of that, and then garlic and Parmesan cheese on top, and baked it for about 30 minutes at 400. I think that's what I had it at. Yeah, and whew, that was delicious. I haven't ate the whole thing. I only ate one block of it, and that was enough to fill me up. So I will have that tomorrow. I got plenty of it to have for tomorrow. So that was my project for the it was a spirit of the moment, something like after I found out that Marco's had the sugar in it, I was like, well, I'm gonna make my own deep dish pizza. And let me just tell you, you mix bacon with smoked ham, with pepperoni, with mozzarella cheese, and with Italian seasoned hamburger, and that makes for a very meaty and tasteful deep dish pizza.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I saw the pictures. It looked good. It looked really good.
It was really good. It was really good. Well, that's about it for tonight. And so thanks for joining us, Brian. I'm looking forward. I'm rooting for you. And I'm sure off the show we'll be in contact, but maybe we'll have you on periodically, let you jump on and give everybody an update of where you're at.
Absolutely. And, thanks for having me. I would absolutely love that.
Now, if people want to get a hold of you just to encourage you and root you, do you have, are you on Facebook and people can reach out to you?
Yep, I'm on Facebook. It's just my name. Search my name, Brian Schenker. Or if they're friends with either of you and your friends are searchable, they can find me that way.
All right. And do you mind taking on new friends that'll encourage you and join you on this keto journey?
Not at all. The more the merrier.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Brian, what you got to wrap up the show with?
The usual, eat your meat. Next week, I'll have that t-shirt on.
Me too. All right. We'll see you guys next Friday. Be safe, be well, and stay out of the hospital, everybody.
Well, and it is early, Brian. We apparently have to cook these under the light of the harvest moon.
Yes. Oh, I didn't mention that. I just woke up, so if my voice sounds weird.
I had to throw rocks at his windowsill. I had a boombox holding over my head. It's playing In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. Do you even know that movie reference, Brian?
No.
Okay.
I know.
That's good.
Indeed.
I'm not going to over rub it. Look at all that mess I made, though.
You can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs.
Yeah.
Your meat fits, Brian.
Yes.
That's always a good thing.